How's it going, everybody? I'm Solus44, this is MC Eternal 2, and we're going to have to do a little bit of catch-up today, because I have about 3 videos that ended up having audio issues, and I just deleted them, and I'm starting them over. So we're just going to cover the stuff that I went through and what I did off camera. That's probably going to take up one of these entire videos. All right, so first things first, I realized that I was wasting a lot of materials. And I decided that it was time for me to continue on with some occultism. So this one's going to be a little bit of occultism. This right here is my first djinn that does the crushing. This right here is the second tier djinn that does the crushing. And then I realized I have the red chalk. So I just jumped right into the top tier and summoned him. So if you want to figure out how to do that, let's go ahead and take a look. I also lost my book. For some reason, it got deleted somewhere. So I made another one, and then I put it in the eccentric tome, and hopefully it stays. So in order to create the highest tier crusher that they have available, it says it will crush 1 ore into 6 corresponding dust. Let's pause there, and that's not true. In this mod pack in MC Eternal 2, there has been some editing done to the recipes and whatnot. And this guy will actually do a lot more than that. So it's actually very worth it, especially if you're trying to keep your ore count up when you're getting into mechanism or other mods that require a lot of ores. So I wanted to make sure that this was covered a little better. Now, to get through this, let's see here. I wanted to show you. Oh, actually, where is it? When you go into your crushers and you want to get a lot of crushing done, you're going to have to at least take a look at what level you're going to be able to do, and then like basically figure out how far you can go. So you're gonna, I mean, obviously with the Merid miner, right? Like this is the top tier Merid miner, and I didn't have the ability to do that, so I think we're gonna do that today. We're gonna probably have to kill another wither in order to do that. And that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I don't know how many totems of undying I got left. I want to upgrade my miner. Oh, look at that. It happens to be the same ritual. So we're good. But these are your different tiers of mining right here, or your crushers. And so what I do is I go off of the chalks. For occultism, it's always off of chalk. Because if you can get certain chalks, you can do certain rituals, and you can, like in this case, I'm bypassing the Abra's conjure. I have that ritual already set up, and I didn't even think about it. And I was like, oh, I could just make another tier. But then I realized I have this one already to go. And so I went ahead and once you get the red chalk, it's pretty much game on. Put it that way. So that's this ritual right here. You're gonna click on that eye. You'll click on the ground, and then it'll give you little shadows. You're gonna go ahead and use your chalks to fill all the outlines out, and then place your dusts. It just takes the different types of actually in the highest tier one, and it requires blocks. You're gonna need a block of isnium. And that's the biggest problem I've got still. I don't have a whole lot of matter of fact, I'm almost completely out of isnium. Isnium. Yeah, I've got 2 isnium left. That's all I've got left. So, yeah. But what's really good is that this crusher has been edited so that it produces even more than what it was. And I wanted to show that to you guys. I don't have any isnium for it to crush, so it's not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to go back and get some. So if we're going to get the final miner, we're going to have to do that. I think that's the right thing to do. So I've already started setting up patterns for this, but let's just give an example here. Using the final tier crusher, you can see what it does if you right click on the bottom here. That's foliate, that's djinn, that's Ifrit, and that's Merid. Now under the Merid, you'll see that it just goes 1 to 3 for the spirit crusher, right? But you'll also notice that it goes up to 10 per block on your different iron. So you're going to get 10. Then you can right click. You'll see that it then can be turned into clumps from create. From there, you can smelt it. So it's actually, especially with like osmium and uranium, which is I'm running low on osmium. So yeah, that's a problem. We're gonna have to either make another trip to the Great Below, or we're gonna have to figure out what to do with it. But if you think about it, okay, so to do the math on it, one of these produces 5. So if I take the osmium and I go ahead and I squeeze it, I can get up to 4. I think that's the until I get mechanism fully running where I can set this up. I've almost got this going. I haven't quite gotten to the tier 4s. I will eventually. Um this one, if you do the enrichment, you'll double the dust. Here you'll triple. I am to this level right now where I can triple it, but it becomes osmium clumps. What you want it to do is be able to become the actual raw ore to do your math. And right now, it looks like the squeezer is the best way to go. So if you do the squeezer, your chances are you're going to get, well, first of all, you're always going to get 2. And if not, you're going to get 4. So let's just say on the offhand, you get 3. 3 of these, right? If you take this and you go over here and you check the crusher, one of them produces 5, 2 of them produces 10, 3 of them produces 15. So 15, and then yeah, that's a bad number. Let's just assume that the crusher does, that the squeezer gives you all 4. Let's just go ahead and guess that it's going to do that, right? It's going to do that off and on. It's going to give you, let's just say it gives you 4. Just for math, okay? It's easier math. So you're going to end up with 20, right? So you're going to end up with 20. Divide that by 4, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you're going to get 5 ingots, because this turns into an ingot. You're going to get 5 ingots per ore. So that's a 5 times multiplier, essentially. As opposed to here, if you divide that by 4, it's going to be an odd number. But you're not going to get 4 ingots, right? So you're going to get more from the raw ore. So it's best to still have the squeezer go ahead and give you as many raw materials as you can to get these parts, which you can then change into here. Now, I went ahead and created some recipes for some of these, and I'm going to have to redo them because I'm going to have it set up so that it automatically processes in the squeezer all of the raw ores first. Because I do believe, if I'm not wrong, that all the raw ores can be done through the purification process, the enrichment process, all that stuff anyway. So it's probably better to go ahead and run it through that process. Actually, yeah, it's ores that you're going to want anyhow. That's how you're going to get your highest amount of return on investment, no matter how you look at it. So it's best, in my opinion, to go ahead and run the ores through the squeezer automatically. So if you have a bunch of ore, I linked my dank null that's attached to my foundry straight to the integrated applied energistic system. And I went ahead and created a quantum bridge card and used up all of my Indirium. I'm almost completely out of Indirium now. I only have 2 left. I went to the end, and after killing the dragon and exploring and finding myself an elytra, I was able to go ahead and get enough. I think it was like 32 blocks of it turned into 32. So I need to get it through a digital miner. That's the end all be all is. The digital miner is probably the easiest way to get Indirium, and I'm going to take and plop it down and collect Indirium and plop it down, and I'm hoping that it works, because if it doesn't, it's a lot of mining. And the best way to mine for it is to take your Indirium compass, your shard locator here, and as soon as it shows a single line, get the destruction gadget out from a direwolf and just disintegrate the land in a big old spot. Look down, and as it goes, you'll see a piece of Indirium. You'll see how low it is. You'll see where you can start going, and then just blast your way down with whatever equipment you've got, or mine your way down to that Enderium. That's the easiest way for me to find it. If you have a faster way, or you know if it can be done through scrying or something, let me know because I'm really struggling with getting enough Enderium to make this last few things. All right, so this is the final miner or the final grindstone guy. I have it set up with a pattern provider, which it does work. It's going to insert. Right now, it depends on what I have it set for. I'm gonna have to redo all these patterns, and I'm gonna have to make them all for ores. Not for ores, but for the raw ore pieces, right? And then you're gonna insert into here. This guy will just spit them out on the ground, so that's a problem. I decided to go ahead and go with drawers since that's something I don't normally do. I created a magnet upgrade inside there, which gives it a big range. So if anything is thrown on the ground, it's just gonna pick it up. So if I just chuck this here, it's going to pick it up, and then I have on the back side a import bus to collect it up. That's it. That's my whole grinding process right there, and it's very fast. So it's not like it takes forever. You know if you have some ores, and you really want to get some, I'm wasting copper since I know it's not a big deal. Uh, yeah. So you just right click it with it. It does throw it out into the world, and I don't like that. But I mean, I guess I could put some glass, not some glass, but well, I guess I could put some glass or something around it. But because the drawer has such a wide range on it for pickup, it'll take care of everything. And I don't have anything else going around here that's going to be thrown on the ground, so it should be okay. Now, let's cover a few other things that I might have missed in previous episodes that got deleted due to audio and whatnot. And that is going to be the Flugel Tiara. Once you defeat the Botania boss, the Guardian, the Gaia Guardian, at the tier 2, and you get Gaia spirits, you can create a Flugel Tiara. And it's actually, look it up with Tiara, not the name, because for some reason that doesn't work. I guess it's the U with the weird accents on it. So it just requires some Elementium, some Gaia spirits, whatnot, but you need the Ender Air. I needed that. But by the time I could get the Ender Air, I didn't really need to get the Flugel Tiara. But I went ahead and got it anyway. It's pretty cool looking, and it's got a really cool effect. If I put it on my body here, on my head, and I toggle visible, you'll be able to see it. It gives me bat wings. You can choose your own. There's a few other different kinds. As you can see, there's a bunch of different slots here that show you the different kinds of tiaras you can get. All that is cosmetic. I just thought it looked really cool. Now, the Flugel Tiara gives you flight, creative flight, mind you. However, it's not infinite creative flight. In fact, as you can see, there's these little tornado bat wings, whatever you want to call them. It probably changes depending on the type that you create, right? Like mine are Lord of the Pit, so mine's bat wings, or demon wings, or vampire wings, whatever. So you'll see them filling up right now. And so that is creative flight until it runs out. And so right now, even though I have the flight ritual going on, it's still going to count towards the Botania's loss. It's actually overrides it, and it kind of stinks, but it does. And it's kind of disturbing to where I have to put this on and off. So I just go ahead and leave it right here. Now, so that covers the Botania thing. Next, we're going to take a look. I think I have a video released already on how to do the enchantments through Botania, and it's extremely helpful, especially if you got the crystallized flower, because every single thing that you make with the use with the Botania enchanter, you get to keep those enchantments, and that alone is excellent. Like that's amazing. So all you have to do is create your book one time, and then increase it as high as you can get it, and then put it on your stuff. Now, that brings me to this right here, the Eternal Hat of Wizardry that I got when I chose it as a quest reward for defeating the dragon. And if you notice that it has mana regen, aqua affinity, mending, mana boost, all this really cool stuff that I wanted on there, Thorns 4, all of that. That's on top of its other powers as well. That was done through the Botania Enchanter. It does take a lot of mana to do it, but it's completely worth it. 100%. I highly recommend it. And if you have any questions, go back to that video and watch it. It shows you step by step almost how to make it. Which you're probably wondering, okay, well then what the heck are you wearing? Well, I managed to get the Excelsius Velocity chest plate and imbue it as well. I wish I would have kept those videos then had some way to talk over it in the audio, but as well, I increased their enchantments to as much as I could do as well. And the total result is having an armor of 31, which to me that's significant enough to switch armors out, and Ars Nouveaux as well. I did die quite a few times getting all that stuff because in order to get the materials needed to make this armor, you need to get mechanical scrap. Oops. And mechanical scrap doesn't have a tooltip. It doesn't tell you where it came from. The same thing goes for the mechanical weapons part. Now it comes from killing the Harbinger over and over and over and over again. And the Harbinger, if you're not playing around, you can do it, but I highly recommend you creating a spell that triggers an EMP. And it's just like playing with the little flip levers when you're fighting the Harbinger. You flip a lever, and if he's close enough, it gives him an EMP pulse. It does a little bit of damage to him, but it pauses him for a second. You can whack him a few times. I got pretty good at it, so I was able to keep on going and killing him and making a new eye. The eye is easy to make. So that part's easy. To make the eye for the Harbinger was thankfully it's cheap. It doesn't require a lot. It's which eye is it? This one? No. This one right here, the Eye of the Mech. It's just an ender eye and some redstone. So it's really cheap, and you can just resummon him over and over again, use the eye and the dimension, and it'll keep on bringing him back. And then you can end up getting a bunch of mechanical scrap. You take that mechanical scrap, and you apply it to the Technomancer's armor, and as you can see, you create yourself these upgrades. Now, depending on what orb you create, changes the type of upgrade you get. I chose the cooldown. To me, everything is all about being able to spam the spells as fast as I can, and that's the best way to do it. As far as the other ones go, this one right here increases your mana, but I've got an obscene amount of mana already because of the armor that I made. And this one right here is for spell resistance, which might be a close second. To me, it's very close. I might have went that direction. And if I make any more orbs, I'm going to definitely go that way. But unfortunately, I don't have any more runes. You can make the upgrades, but you got to go mining for the arcane salvage. But getting the runes only come from either chests or killing the dead king. Again, you can spam the dead king, kill him, get enough runes, maybe even trap him inside of a containment jar, put him in the Ars farm, that kind of thing. I didn't have to do that, fortunately, but I am out of runes, so I might have to do that eventually. The mechanical weapon part also comes from the Harbinger. I'm not sure how to get this one. Oh. Well, I'll be darned. So you can make the Ring of Recovery, and you can make this. I didn't even try. I guess I could do that. I probably have enough rings, or I can make this ring, but I got all kinds of accessories. Matter of fact, most of my power in this pack has been coming from these rings. I still am missing the ice ring, so I need to get an ice shard yet. Which I'm pretty sure that comes from killing Maledictus, and I haven't spammed him yet. All right. I had a bunch of drigmies over here, getting myself some more. I had 3 of them. Getting myself some more of these scrolls. Really? Do you have anything good? Every once in a while, these guys will have something good. Look at this. See, I don't even know what protosite is. So just to have some, I'm going to get some. So don't write off these guys all the way. I mean, every once in a while, they're worth getting. Boom, swasher. You can break it down. Again, I got a video for that. If you guys are curious how to do it, check that video out. I don't know what acacia blossom does. Okay, that's all good. You've outlived your usefulness. I know. It's mean. And they're gonna get other drops are gonna get picked up, so no problem. Cool. Got myself some new materials. Okay, so if you want to go kill the Harbinger repeatedly and you've got into iron spells at all, iron spells, and I created the disc driver too, because the Harbinger drops a disc. It doesn't none of the discs or none of the things that are from irons in this pack give you the spells like it says it's going to. That's a mistake, I guess. I don't know for sure. But if you look for disc driver, why can I not get the S to go? There we go. I'm worried now. It says when in inventory unlocks all Harbinger spells. No, don't. It does not. But you can make the ancient codex. I got a ruined book from the Deep Dark. So, and the vials of blood come from the cauldron. If you get inside this cauldron right here, when it's on top of a heat source, I'm just being cheesy and using a magma block since it stays hot. You can get in there, it'll fill with blood, then you right click it with an empty bottle and it'll pick up bottles of vials of blood. And then you take that ancient codex, put it onto your mechanical fusion anvil, which you can create with the witherite that you get from I think the Harbinger drops witherite as well. Yeah, the Harbinger also drops the witherite, so that's awesome. Doom of the Forsaken, huh? Anyway, that gives you the disc driver, and that gives me even more mana and more technomancy power. So most of the spells that I'm going to be using, because this is all technomancy, that's something I've never done before, and I think it looks awesome. Now, it does have a helmet that comes with it, but the helmet is I have it on a stand in my other dimension, or my other location here. I want to rest because I need you guys to be able to see what I'm doing here. I just logged into my playthrough too. There was a Minecraft downing for a while. The servers were down. Anyway, the helmet gives you all kinds of cool effects. It also has a double of your projectile damage. That's really powerful, but I think that the Eternal Hat of Wizardry provides so much more as far as mana regen, knockback resistance, all that stuff. So I went ahead and used that instead. However, I did try out the helmet. It looks neat. It looks really cool. You look like a RoboCop kind of thing. This has infinite flight on it. And what that means is that when I don't have my charm going, I can actually just... I don't know if it'll let me... There we go. Just hold the space button down when I'm falling. And it basically acts just like as if you have an elytra on at all times. But it works as if it's being boosted also, so it's an elytra flight that's infinite. Which it's okay, I like it. It's kind of weird. Comes in handy, especially in the end, because I'm flying around in the end doing a lot of collecting of Vendirium. The leggings make it so that you're immune to all fall damage. So I didn't need to have the bunny hoppers anymore, so I swapped it out for some steadfast spikes so that I could reduce my knockback damage completely, almost to zero. And then the boots. Now the boots they kind of stink. They're good, but they stink. There's some kind of issue I'm having with the hover mode, and it allows you to... Now mine is assigned to H, that's my keybind, but yours is going to be whatever you give it. This is what happens when I hit the hover mode. I automatically fly up. And the thing is you can't fly down. Like, you can't hold shift, and it's not creative flight, right? You're just stuck here in the air. Now, you can, from there, push your space button and go right into your elytra flight, though. So then now I'm lower to the ground. But if I jump, I am automatically fly up, high up in the air. And I'm just floating, I'm not pushing anything. So it just, to me, that's kind of an issue. I wish it gave it the actual flight, but it is what it is. Now, to turn it off, you just hold shift and push the same button that you assigned, and then now I'm walking again. hopefully all this is making sense. Yeah. Now, I mentioned to kill the Harbinger, the easiest, you need to have an EMP. So if you don't know how to do iron spells at all, this is going to help you out a little bit. So the goal in iron spells for me was to get ink. And in order to get ink, you fill this full of water. That's why there's the Haunted Jug, which is the infinite water source for the mod pack. You take a bucket, you fill this with water, it'll bubble. Take your scrolls, whatever scroll you got. I guess I can show you that. And what you're looking for is the level that it is. Like this is rare, this is common, etc. So let's say I want some rare. I want rare. Oh, matter of fact, epic's even better. Because I do want to make another spell. I'm not going to waste too much time showing you guys this. There's epic. I think that's pretty good. We might need more. I want to be able to show you guys how to combine them together. I'm going to grab myself a bucket. And I think I have some bottles in the network as well. So you just take your bucket, fill it up. Now it's bubbling. And let's say we want epic ink. I think I have bottles in here. No, I don't. Okay. Grab yourself some empty bottles. I have plenty of bottles. And you place 1, 2, 3, or just one. Each one of them has a 50% chance of not going through. Okay, you heard the first one made a weird bubbly sound. That's when it actually works. So I got one single bottle of ink. That's it. There it is, an epic ink bottle. So it might be better for you to do one at a time. I'm not too sure. I've always just done one at a time and waited. Now I did have this, I tried to do this automated, and it's a really difficult process. If you have an unlimited supply of scrolls, you could do it where it's automatically being put in here using integrated dynamics, but because a lot of people just don't want to get into integrated dynamics, I'm just gonna not show that. Also, it failed. I want all the epic I can get so I can show this. All right, cool. There's another epic. I need one more epic. Please don't fail. Please work, please work, please work. Flip a coin. Yes! Okay. So, empty cauldron, epic ink. Well, I don't want an epic spell. I want a legendary spell. Legendary is the best level that you can get so far. And I want to be able to create my own spell because I want to choose what I get. So what you'll do is you'll take your epic ink. You can do this from common all the way up through to legendary, okay? So if you have an absolute ton of common, you can keep pushing them into this cauldron. You can set up a system that right-clicks it using a player simulator from Integrated Dynamics. I'll just explain that. And then just have the water being fed into it with another player simulator because you got to have a bucket. You have to click on it with a bucket in order for it to work. All right, so now this whole thing is full of epic ink. Then from there, you're just going to take an amethyst. I have no amethyst. Hold on. Wow, I'm almost out of amethyst shards. Right-click that onto the bowl, and the cauldron. And then you have one bottle now of epic ink. You can take your epic ink or any other ink you got. I'm trying to avoid the sound of the nether portal. You see the scroll forge? The scroll forge has 3 slots on it. The first one is for your ink. The second one is for paper. And the last one is for the type of spell that you want to create. Now, there isn't a ritual or a recipe thing on here so you can see the different deals. But instead, if you hover over the legendary ink, and for me, it's you. Now I can see the different types of spells that I can get that are legendary. And then here are the different types of this is the different. If you click on the scroll forge, you can see the different types. So this is going to give you abyssal type. This is your blood spells, your blood magic. This is your light magic, your ice magic, your lightning magic, your fire magic, your Eldritch magic, which you have to unlock all except for one spell. With one spell for me, it was already unlocked. I don't understand it. I'm probably going to do that here in a second. This one is your, I would like to call it, it's your Illager spells, right? Like Vexes and the Vex type thing, the fangs that go out, that kind of stuff is in here. Mostly projectiles, firecrackers. You can see the different types, right? Then you got your Ender ones, you've got your music ones, you've got your poison or earth ones, and then you've got your technomancy, which I've been using the most. And it allows you to summon a very different types of summons. It lets you enhance yourself. It does this atomic laser thing. If you noticed, it hit a thing called EMP. That's the one that if you scroll down over here, you put your redstone in and you say, all right, I want to kill the Harbinger. This right here is the key. If you use an EMP pulse while you're around the Harbinger, he's going to pause for a little bit. You smack him for as long as it lasts, right? Run away a little bit, maybe circle around, eat some food, whatever you got to do. Hit him with another EMP. As soon as the cooldown runs down, just hit him again. Keep doing that. You'll get through him, and you'll be able to repeat the process over and over. You can also lock onto him and shoot him with rockets, all kinds of stuff. Now, I would have made this atomic laser, but the problem with the atomic laser is that once you shoot it, you're stuck there for a second. Like you get the EMP almost. Like it does a lot of damage, but it also makes you pause. And in this pack, there's a lot of creatures constantly coming after you, so kind of dangerous. There's also these things like this where it says enforce yourself. It's supposed to be reinforce yourself or something like that. And the summons that are around you, and it stops projectile damage for a little while. It's pretty cool. And all the Cataclysm bosses and all the what are they called? Bosses of mass destruction respond very well to iron spells, but very poorly to Ars Nouveau spells as far as the damage that you can do. Until you get to the final book from Ars Nouveau, which I don't have. I've got the second from the last because in order to make the last one, I need 4 ingots of Enderium and a block of Voidstone, and that requires me. It says it's a very rare drop from the Ender map Terra, so that's something I'm gonna have to find that guy. I think he might be a gateway creature, um, but yeah, so I can't exactly make the final book yet. But what I can do is I can create my own spell here, and I want to try and create a spell that's Eldritch because there was one spell that I could read. Now, if you go down and you can't see, you have to learn the spell first, right? So these are Eldritch spells. I'm not too sure it's worth it. You have to go down to the Deep Dark and you go through all of their chests in there and defeat the Warden a bunch of times, and eventually you're going to find yourself with a little piece of an Eldritch spell, and you have to get them all together and then form them with a shard, and then it'll give you one spell. And it's a lot of work for to me, honestly, doesn't seem like a lot of return. I thought there was for sure a spell that it showed that I could use. I'm hovering over and then I'll pause when it shows up. There it is. Venomous Reborn Scroll. Apparently, this is something I'm supposed to be able to cast, and it looks like it gives you hit points and does 7 damage to somewhere, but it's not unlocked in the creation. So I'm thinking it's a scroll that you can find that gives you the ability to use that spell. It only takes 1 piece of redstone for this stuff, too. And I want to create something like Aerial Assault, Wither Roses, Gear Shift. Let's see, I already have some of these already. The EMP, of course. I'm thinking I might want to go ahead and see if I can summon the construct here. A prowler. Let's see how that one does. Now, if you get a spell that you make and it's legendary, because if you use the legendary ink, it doesn't mean that's as high as it goes. So if you hit the U button on it and you go to the anvil, okay, that's as high as it goes. If it's not as high as it'll go, there'll be a legendary bottle or legendary ink right next to the scroll on the one of these sides here. And that means that you can upgrade it even further because some of them have legendary 1, legendary 2, legendary 3, right? Same thing goes for commons. You can go common 1, 2, 3, and the spell's power will progress as you upgrade it. But this is maxed out. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Now, if you look already, I have the overcharge, the angel wings, which I don't need those anymore, which is awesome. But look, it's a level 5 legendary, meaning that it's been legendary. I added more ink, more ink, more ink. So I kind of lost out, but I'm not too upset. Now I can summon a prowler. I also have available to me the hardware update, and it's not maxed out at all. Like this is it that it gives me 15 attack armor, 30% or 15% armor, 30% attack. Basically, it's a buff that lasts for an entire minute. It takes, or I'm sorry, it lasts for only 9 seconds, and it takes a whole minute to cool down. So it's good. But I mean, it's like if you're going into a boss fight and you buff yourself real quick with a bunch of foods, then you hit this, then that kind of thing. You're gonna have to set yourself up. It's not my favorite way to go. Maybe you like it more than I do. I did max out the vexes because they can fly through walls and they're very handy. And I maxed out the and magic missile because this 1 second cooldown actually is less. And the reason why it's less is because I have this armor on. And I also have the disk driver maxed out as well. So the disk driver decreases your time that you wait. The armor decreases. Every time you do that, it's going to decrease it down. So when I cast Magic Missile, right, like if I hold my R button, which is why I've assigned, I can get the scroll wheel that shows up here. I can choose which spell, and then I have mine set for V. Yeah, I'm casting it that fast, which to me that seems a little faster than 1 second cooldown because it is. So it's really powerful as well. It doesn't do like a huge amount of damage, but since you can spam it quickly. I also have available to me the Watchers. I'm not going to summon them because they're annoying and they like to attack everything, including my own guys. I maxed out I didn't max out Lightning Lance. I didn't max out the Polar Bear. You can tell if they're maxed out usually if they're orange, right? Or if they're in the legendary. The color of the spell will tell you where it says level 5. You'll see that 5 is orange. That's because it's legendary and it's as high as well. It's in the legendary area. The nuke creep strike. I chose that one because it looks cool. And it doesn't destroy property or anything like that. But here. And it can be cast pretty quickly. So again. And then evasion. Now evasion is great because when you do evasion, it stays on you for a whole entire minute. And if you look, it says 4. Evasion 4. And if I remember right, I got this weird glowing effect. It's 3 or 4 strikes that hit me are just gonna not hit me. And it's gonna take away one of the deals. So I get every time I recast it, I get 3 hits on me by anything. It just misses. So it's as if I'm untouchable for 4 hits. That's plenty of time to choose another spell and to give yourself the opportunity to retaliate against an attacker, right? Well, at least it helps a lot. All right, so that covers the spells, the spell book, the upgrades. Let's see, what else? I died so many times that my Totem of Souls even got used up. I lost my Poppet. I don't have a Totem of Undying right now. Empty slot. And that could be a problem. I don't think I have any more totems. I do. I have one more Totem of Undying, but I'm going to need to use that for ritual, I believe. Yeah, for this inverted tower. Oh, I don't know if I don't have enough Icenium to make another pickaxe. Oh, I don't. I don't have enough Icenium to make another pickaxe. So today we're not going to be making the crusher or the miner, unless you guys are going to want to watch me go through and mine a whole bunch. Let me check my time real quick. No, I'm not going to have time to do that. So that covers all of the upgrades that I done. Let's go ahead and head over to my mechanism stuff that I'm doing. I've already started upgrading all of that. I basically have started the process of doing the osmium compressor in order for me to get the refined obsidian and glowstone through the machines. I know I can do it through Tinkers, but it's a lot more complicated than just going ahead and running an osmium compressor, in my opinion. And then I added another crusher because there was items that needed like iron, steel dust that I needed for many upgrades and whatnot. I already upgraded some of them to the tiers that are higher. Um, oh yeah, that's running for my biodiesel setup. So I've already have an enriched. I'm gonna have to do even more tier upgrades. These are only the tier 3. This is tier 3. That's tier 3, etc. So it's gonna be a while before I get this all done. And if you want me to show you this, like I even got the purification set up. I just haven't started outputting processing and all that yet. I'm gonna go ahead and build out the whole entire thing. Um, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that all on camera. So that way you guys can see how that's done. If you have any questions on mechanism, I should be able to resolve those questions for you through me setting it up. It's not that difficult, especially if you've already done the basics or even follow me through this far. You've probably seen me set up all the rest, like the enrichments and all that, and the oxygen containers and the storing of the extra gases and such, because this is going to come in handy when it comes to doing the processing. Like this one right here is taking an oxygen. Well, this system right here, I already have a stored amount of oxygen of quite a bit. And we're not going to do like a very large amount of that ore processing, but just for like osmium, anything that I can get a little bit more of a boost from the rare stuff, iosnium, osmium, uranium. If I can get myself to have 6 times as much from one single ore, I'm going to do it. Right? Because I don't plan on having everything to be handed to me in this pack through like a some kind of infinite ore glitch. But I mean, the miner is going to give me most of it. So I'm going to say next episode, we're going to come back and we're going to cover making the final miner for um, occultism. And then we're going to cover some mechanism, I think, so processing it. So that way I can at least have enough materials to finish up mechanism and get myself the suit of armor because there is a boss that we have to fight yet. If you go down to in progression, you'll notice that I've cleared out all the eyes. I've beaten all the bosses. But I don't have this one. I clicked on it and I was like, how come I didn't get this when I beat the dragon? That's because you have to be able to defeat the Void Worm. Now, the Void Worm is accessible in the end only once you defeat the dragon, as far as I can tell, through using a mysterious worm. All right, the mysterious worm can be gained through quests. That's how I got mine, was from quest books or through the quest book. But you can make them yourself by putting a crimson mosquito larva inside of a capsid. The capsids are like these weird looking. They're actually a virus floating around in the end. You kill them, you get this little bulb. And I have some, but I don't have. I think I have a couple. Yeah, I've got 2 of them right now. And you just place them on the ground. Place the item inside of it that you want it to affect, and it'll basically mutate. There's other items as well that can go inside the capsid. If you right click here, you'll see you can also make a rocket. I don't really care for that. But you can take your raw cod and you can get yourself this cosmic cod, which is a food that I haven't eaten yet. So that's another, another item that I haven't gotten. And it also lets you take some of your discs here and get a music disc that I haven't gotten. So I'm gonna have to I can do that right now. And then the Void Worm drops this dimensional carver stuff. these pieces, and it makes this unbreakable pickaxe, I guess, and then you can mutate it into the shattered dimensional carver. I've never used it. I don't know what they do. I don't know how it reacts. I'm a little worried that it's going to be too much. But we're going to work our way to fighting the void worm. I don't think that in the situation where I'm at right now, the way I fly and such, I don't think it's able to be done too easily. And I'm going to wait until I get the mech suit. Because I think the mech suit's overpowered as hell in this pack, and it's probably the one suit that once you get it, you can take out pretty much anything, right? Like it just depends on how much energy you have. You just don't die, essentially, for most things. Maybe. Let's see what happens when we give it a disc. It's kind of neat. Just shakes. Oh, there you go. It changed. Now I have the Ludo Crypt Days. I'm going to go play some music and end the video for the day. At least this one's safe. I won't have to worry about getting myself banned. I hope I've covered everything that I missed in my my lost videos, but here we go. Okay. All right, if you know, you know. If you got any questions, comments, or complaints, please let me know. Love you, miss you. Talk to you later. Bye.